Let's try to focus on just more of the ripple effect. We mentioned the Montreal Screwjob. Peter, you talked about being the world's biggest Bret Hart fan. The Montreal Screwjob does happen. Bret does end up in WCW. What does it look like if there's no Hulk Hogan in NWO?
Well, I mean, it's so hard to talk about that, right? Because everyone sort of talks about Bret in WCW, including Bret, with the same feeling, which is like one of regret. Like this was not as good. It wasn't really good, period. You know?
Sure.
And is there a world in which Bret could have been involved in the early, because Bret doesn't get there until after December 97 when he shows up or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And this is July 96. So in another world where Bret could have gotten there sooner and been part of the formation of NWO, could that have reshaped the way Bret's trajectory in WCW went?
It absolutely could have.
I would put that in the same exact category as Sting. Had Sting been the guy, would it have been, I don't want to use the term flash in the pan, it would have created a rumble, but I don't know if it would have been of the same magnitude and the same caliber. Also, can WCW even afford to pay Bret Hart if there is no NWO? I mean, business was down. Eric Bischoff's been on the record very openly that the company was in trouble. And all of a sudden, to Vic's point, they catch lightning in a bottle. Now they're raking in bucks, hand over fist. Now there's income and merchandise, and it's really setting the world on fire, which now allows Eric to open the checkbook and say, hey, Bret, if you're not happy there, I'm going to throw more money at you than you've ever seen.
But think about how fascinating that is, because I never thought about it that way.
I just thought about it as we were talking. That's why these are fun.
A full year later, right? So July 96, they crush it for a year straight, which gets you to summer 97, which if you've watched any of the Bret documentaries or read his book, that's when the negotiations really start picking up with WCW. Mm-hmm. So they had a year of making money before they could even talk about offering this big money to Bret. The big money Bret was getting offered from WCW is such an integral part of him ending up having
That's the number one reason. Right. I think he's been on the record. I never even dreamed of making that much money.
And it's the reason that Vince McMahon ended up being able to be like, hey, you know what? We're never going to be able to come close to that. We thought we were going to give you this 25-year deal, whatever. Just go ahead and leave. If WCW never starts making the money, you have to think WWE continues to make it work with Bret Hart. And literally history is completely different then.
Right. The butterfly effect, man. So if Bret Hart stays around, then do we have the rise of this guy and that guy and the other thing? It's really, really mind-blowing to think about.
So if Hogan's not the third man, that also changes Starrcade 97. So let's say Bret comes in at the same time. They maybe bring him in a more interesting way than just having him kind of shoehorned into this Hogan and Sting match, because Hogan and Sting isn't happening if Hogan wasn't the third man to begin with.
Sure.
Watch out there. There's a microphone.
And that is the worst. That is one of the worst introductions of a character of all time. You have a megastar come over and just play the middleman in another story. It blows my mind.
And it was doomed. As soon as that happened, it was doomed. I mean, as you said earlier, I don't think anything good comes from Bret Hart going to WCW. Doesn't matter what time, what era, what year, what month. Nothing good happens.
There's also a small window here, guys, where if we really want to kind of rebook and fantasy look at this, where Bret actually could have been the third man. Mania 12, where Shawn beats him for the WWE Championship, the Iron Man match. Bret goes away for 6 months after that match before coming back in October of 96, and that's where apparently the 20-year contract was offered, and really that's what kept Bret around for that another year before the screw job anyways. That summer of 96 is when all of this NWO stuff goes down. There is a world there where if Eric Bischoff could have mustered up the money to persuade Bret to come over at that point in time after he lost the WWE Championship to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 12, where he could have come in and been the third guy to Hall and Nash as the outsiders at Bash 96.
And you have to think about it like this too. That's a great point. If it had been him and the Hogan thing had not yet happened, the way that Bret would be received in WCW would have been such a bigger deal.
Completely different.
A year later. By the time Bret went there, it was like so many people had already come over. It had lost a lot of steam. WWE guys going to WCW had already lost steam. So a year earlier, he shows up. He's the third member. You're right. Maybe it does change Brett's history in WCW.
And sure, in WWE, that wasn't like Brett and Hall and Nash were really connected, you know, in any sort of real entangled storylines, but it would have made sense as like, oh, so Hall and Nash come over, they are the quote unquote WWE guys, and oh, they got the top name WWE guy to come along with them to invade WCW. So there is a connection there that could have worked. Would it have been as big as Hogan? I don't know.
But that's why Hall and Nash worked on such a grand scale, was because as I mentioned before, the internet wasn't like it is today, where everything, contract status, et cetera, is readily available at your fingertips. So there was still intrigue and mystery. Oh my God, are these WWE guys coming to take over WCW? It was believable. Everybody bought in that, man, did Mr. McMahon send these guys down here to destroy us? Who knows? It's really an interesting way to look at things. Like what you hear? Catch full episodes of After the Bell on Spotify. Follow us now and never miss an episode.